You're listening to Scheduling Sin with me, Snowmill.
Because
you are an authority on cock size.
I have one.
First of all, we found out what a hattie was.
Oh yes, I forgot about this.
How could you forget?
That's a good
a
question.
lot of things happened.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to a very special episode of Scheduling Sin. We just got back from our trip to the UK, where we visited with Mr. and Mrs. N from Vanilla to Vixen, and many of our British friends from our Discord. While we were there, we recorded a podcast episode with Mr. and Mrs. N, and for the first time ever, Scheduling Sin and Vanilla to Vixen are both releasing a joint episode on the same day. We had a blast creating this with them. Let's take a listen.
Hello, and welcome to episode 81, I think it is, of Vanilla to Vixen. As you can hear, Mrs. N's already laughing. I'm a bit tired. We're all a bit tired. Welcome to episode 81. We're recording this at the weekend. We don't usually record at the weekend.
No.
But we're recording this at the weekend because this is a very, very special episode of Vanilla to Vixen.
I can't believe it's actually happening.
It's already happened.
You might have heard that accent just there. Those sexy drawls of... We've got Mr. and Mrs. Snow all the way from America.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to be here.
I can't believe they're sitting in the room with us.
I know.
I'm in total fanboy mode. Like, this is where the magic happens.
We're in the studio.
You are.
I've imagined this room so many times.
Do you remember the conversation we had?
Hold on a minute. Before you jump into anything, you've missed my joke.
Oh.
So I'm not going to do it today because we've got Mr. Snow.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You're not the only dad swinger.
That should be your new handle. Dad swinger. Dad swinger. If that doesn't get you laid, I don't know what will.
The dad jokes.
Okay, so here it goes. All the way from America.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a naked woman standing on the side of the road.
Wasn't me.
Are you sure?
Wasn't me.
We never did get her ID. So she's standing on the side of the road yelling, 4, 4, 4. And this guy comes along and he sees this and he thinks, oh my gosh, she must be in trouble. So he pulls over and stops and he runs up to her and he says, are you okay? And she just stands there, 4, 4. Well, meanwhile, a car comes flying down the road and veers off the road and goes into a tree. And she starts going, 5, 5.
That's definitely on your level.
That's good. That is good.
I'm glad I've contributed to this vast number of terrible jokes.
What we're going to do
on this show,
we're going to listen back to them all and make a book at the end of the year.
Oh, there you go.
The swinging dad jokes.
Yeah. Swinging dad jokes.
I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's got copyright all over it, that one.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. That's so cool.
I want to be at that book signing.
And teaser alert, we even know how we can sign it.
We
Yes,
do.
we do.
We'll come to dirty signings later on. Just for our listeners who don't know, Mr. and Mrs. Snow are on the Scheduling Sin podcast. We are so lucky to have them. Their podcast is brilliant, and it's almost like you are the American version of us.
I really feel that way. I got to know you guys through, I just was looking for podcasts and I started listening because I have a fairly long commute.
Yeah.
And I started looking for swinger podcasts and you guys popped up and I listened to several of them and I related immediately to your guys' show.
He kind of has a man crush on you.
Okay, we're just saying stuff now.
He says, do you realize that Mr. N and I are like the same person?
Yeah. It's Stranger Things. We're in the upside down. You're like the upside down, or I'm the upside down of the other one.
So yeah, there are a lot of similarities in what we really related to. We first picked up a microphone in April of 2023.
I can't believe that because your
can't
podcast
either.
is so good.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that. But what we related to immediately with yours and what we have grown from with yours is just that conversation about communication and healthy relationships. And so for us, that's a really important thing. And we got a lot of that direction from you guys.
Bless you. Thank you.
But we did a telephone interview with you guys, didn't we? And
Yeah.
we've been on each other's shows and everything.
Yeah.
But in one of the particular conversations that we had was all around Mr. Snow's big birthday that was happening.
Yes.
And there was
Yes.
a comment made about coming over to the UK.
Correct.
I mean, you were asked where you would want to go anywhere in the world.
And you said,
No, let's just think about that for a minute. Let's just stop and think. Anywhere in the world. I'm thinking
I don't know if it was
Hawaii,
posed that way.
Hawaii, the Bahamas, the Maldives, Dubai. I'm
And
thinking
none of those places are as pretty as Mrs. N.
Well, that's guaranteed a blowjob. Later.
The swinger dag's got play. He's got some swagger over there.
Yep. I got jokes and swagger.
The full package.
oh, yeah. I've seen the package.
And we're kind of like halfway through the weekend now. So we're about to do tonight the biggest party, I think, of the year so far. Though the year's not very...
Well, there's a
very-
reason why it's going to be the biggest party now, isn't there?
It is. We've got Mr. and Mrs. Snow, and it's Chinese New Year.
Yes.
And it's vanilla to Vixen.
We've got 5,000 fortune cookies in the back of my car.
No, you have 4,999.
Right, 'cause you ate one.
Let's try it one.
Yeah, we did try one, didn't we?
And so last night we're like, what should we do? And we planned a whole weekend of debauchery.
It's right up Mr. Snow's alley.
Absolutely.
And
food.
and a birthday dinner and everything.
Yes.
We got a lot to fit in a weekend.
Yes.
You're here just for the weekend.
Yes.
It's just we ain't making every second count and fit a podcast in as well.
Yeah.
We did have a sort of schedule, didn't we?
So
Which
we had a
all
good
went
plan.
out the window.
We had a good plan.
What I have learned about Mr. N is he oversells.
This is true.
I can see the edit button coming now.
So I'm like, okay, right. So we've got to do like a couple of top clubs. So like our favourite clubs. I mean, we're not shy because it's just our opinion. Everybody's different. Each club works for different people. Two of our favourite clubs are Purple Mamba and, of course, Liberty Elite, where we hold our events.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we'll do a meal. And then we'll head to Purple Mamba, and then the following night we'll obviously it's Vanilla to Vixen, Liberty Elite. It's the best fucking party ever. You know? Anyway, just there goes the oversell button again. We organised a nice place for dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Snow's laughing because she knows what's coming. So we're like, right, you know what? We're going to take you to a proper English pub.
It was a
English
beautiful
pub.
Yeah, very cool.
It really was
In
cool.
fairness, it was our beautiful, delicious Debs that had arranged.
So we're
wow,
throwing
that
other
bus
people
came
under the bus.
quickly.
Throw her under the bus.
We're
sorry,
chucking her
Debs.
under there, bless her.
Because we will let you, dear listener, know what happened. What kind of fucking moron lets you reserve a table? And I shall tell you why. We ring up, we say, right, it was going to be about 10 of us, 12 of us, whatever. We're going to reserve a table because there's a few of us going to be there. And they're going, yes, you can reserve a table. We got at said pub. I'm not going to mention them to save their embarrassment.
Lovely pub, though.
Brilliant. I wonder what the food was like. We'll never know.
Never know.
We sit at the table and we walk in to begin with, and everyone looks at us because we're like overdressed. We look like James Bond on Skid Row.
I think everybody went, well, they're swingers as soon as we walked in.
Yeah, we were like overdressed, but we sat down and they put a beautiful cardboard thing of
Yes, reserved.
reserved for
Yes.
Mrs. N.
No, it was Delicious Deb's name on it.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's all reserved.
Yeah.
And
That's why I'm blaming Deb.
we sat down and I'm kind of like tapping my fingers on the table because one thing that I did notice missing from an eating establishment were fucking menus. So we go up to the bar and they went, yeah, we don't serve dinners, we don't serve meals on Fridays. I said,
What?
but you've let us reserve a table. Yeah, well, you might want to sit down at the table.
Actually, prior to that, we must mention that the weather has been horrendous. and it's done nothing but rain.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of flooding.
Yeah.
And then there happened to be a major accident on one of the motorways.
The M1, yeah.
Yeah, which diverted traffic left, right and centre. And so we were supposed to be at the said pub.
We were all late.
Yeah, we were all late.
Good job we didn't miss the chef.
Yeah.
He was at home watching Gladiators.
And wondering to himself, I wonder why someone reserved a table for the night.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at that menu online and I was so looking forward to a proper English pub meal.
Yeah.
And it just got fucked.
Yeah.
It did. Have a packet.
Much like
Not in a
later.
good way.
Which is the theme of the weekend.
Exactly.
We just started the fucking a little early. That's all.
Fair enough.
True.
So yeah, so we had a drink, didn't we? And then bless her. I really don't know what we'd do without Delicious Debs.
Oh, Delicious Debs. Yeah. I would describe it as steam coming out of her ears.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she was watching the guest list grow and grow and grow for Vanilla to Vixen. She's like, cap that guest list, cap that guest list. And I'm going, just a few more, they're really hot. I think her exact words were, you're a twat. Because she's on the door.
I will say, hearing an English person or a British person say twat is just amazing. It's such
They
a
deliver it like no one else.
It's so beautiful. It's
We were talking about this on the way over because
Yeah.
you said to me, they're like, they say fuck a lot, but they make it sound so good.
I know. They're just so eloquent with it. Like, he's just throwing around like, fuck, fuck,
How
fuck.
do they
They're
do
just,
it?
They're just so eloquent about
I
it.
know.
Same thing with, cunt and twat.
What's the phrase that you've learned more than anything since you've been here this weekend?
Oh, I have to think about that one.
There was a lot that came out at lunch yesterday. Wasn't there?
We did lunch. We did lunch.
We did
before,
lunch?
We did lunch before.
Yeah.
We did. At least we
At a place we knew we'd get food.
yeah, we did get actual food on the lunch.
Which
It
was
a good job.
handy.
But then, we had as well, that it's Valentine's weekend, or kind of like in between
Yeah.
Valentine's weekend. We were luckily, the beautiful restaurant next door let us have food.
What kind of a restaurant was that?
It's an Indian
It's an
restaurant.
Indian
It was
restaurant.
Indian restaurant.
But I
Now,
can't
let
have-
me ask you.
I know what's coming.
Let me ask you this. If you were going to say to yourself, I'm going to go have some food before I go take my clothes off in front of a lot of people, would Indian be your choice?
Absolutely not. But at this stage, I think you've got to appreciate beggars can't be choosers.
So Delicious Debs, bless her, ran out of the pub that served no food, round the corner to the Indian that did serve food to see if they could have a table to fit us all
Yes.
They did
in.
save
Which
the
they
day.
did.
They
And
did. They
were,
saved the day.
They were so accommodating, weren't they?
And then Mrs. Snow discovered in like this tiny, tiny writing on the bottom right-hand side of the menu, English food also served.
Yes.
And we got chicken and chips.
You
It
did,
was
didn't
wonderful.
you? Yeah. You did get a funny look from the waiter, though. He was so unimpressed with
Yeah.
you there.
Yeah, when you ordered it, I mean,
Yeah,
when
his face-
I ordered it as well. So, but
His
well,
face was really like a, seriously.
seriously.
Well, we said we were going over to this place and it was Indian. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. So we get over there and I look at the menu and I think there has to be something on here. And this menu was gigantic.
It was,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
big,
Every
yeah,
single
yeah.
thing on this menu had at least one chili pepper next to it.
Yeah.
And I can't eat chili.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But yeah, it gives
But,
me migraines.
we had to do something.
Yeah, so we did that, but it made us a bit late.
A bit late.
A bit late.
very late.
Is an understatement.
So I'm so sorry to Chris and Amanda. We couldn't make it. We are gutted.
we are absolutely gutted.
Really sorry. We will make it up to you in sexual favours or whatever you want. Chris will
Excuse
be,
you, Mrs. N.
They might not want to.
Chris will be rubbing his hands together. Come on, Mrs. N.
We'll pay, but you have to come to America.
So we're gutted that we couldn't do Purple Mama.
Yeah.
But we did kind of catch on to the tail end of the Hot Wives night at Liberty Elite because we were
Yeah.
obviously really close to rugby. So we just called in, like, might as well kind of finish off the night there. And you actually got to sample Liberty Elite.
Yes.
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 It was super
It was
fun.
amazing. It's a really big club. And it's a much bigger club inside than I thought when we walked in. I couldn't believe how far it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit of an Aladdin's cave, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Kind of keeps going, sure.
Yeah, but it's quite an open. I would say it's the most open club
Yeah.
What was interesting, because Mrs. Snow and I were chatting last night about this, and because obviously, as we've discussed before at Liberty Elite, you have the social area, and then obviously the play areas are further at the back, and then you've got
It's almost like two
private
clubs,
rooms.
isn't it?
And Mrs. Snow was saying that the clubs over in America, pretty much you can play anywhere.
There seems to be much more of an open play.
Yeah.
There's two parts to
Atmosphere.
it. We have not. So in America, there are lots and lots of clubs that we haven't been to, but the ones that we have did not have designated no nudity or play areas.
Right.
We call them like social areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Right.
did not have those. And the other
Because our
thing,
social areas are way more social.
at a certain time of night, they certainly are. But there's also, it seems like in the clubs that we've gone to, that there's a little bit more emphasis on public play.
Yes.
Although there is the
Okay.
the big room with the jacuzzi and everything,
Yeah.
which is very public.
But it's also kind of in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I
is.
mean? Like it's not like just in the public.
It's kind of
view.
a designated space.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clubs that we've gone to are a little more just kind of open. For example, the first club we ever went to had a big public play area
Yeah.
that was literally
Kind of
next
in
to the
middle of
dance floor.
Yeah, in the big area.
Very open.
The reason behind that is at Liberty Elite. I think in the very early days. I mean, like I say, it's so historic, and I love this about the club. That club is literally historic. It was the blueprint for a lot of clubs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So originally it was a truck stop, and John, who literally created the club, he was a creator. I think there was literally a few mattresses thrown down in the back. You know, it was almost like a pub with mattresses. It was. That's literally. You know, we're talking a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And so there was nothing. It was somewhere for people to go. It was somewhere for them safe. And then he's just created this most luxurious place.
Space. Oh,
And it's
absolutely.
just built and built and built. But then you got female input as well in the club. And they were like sort of female staff members and management and things that were helping him. And they were like, if you walk in and there's people fucking, that's exactly what people that probably would criticise the lifestyle would expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see that.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That
And
makes
so
sense.
The idea is that you walk in and there's a space that you can go to just be with the community, to just be social, to whatever. And then you can go and fuck in the back.
But that makes a lot of sense, though. And in the clubs that we've been to,
Well, the shapes have been very different,
the shapes have been very
which I
different.
think makes a difference.
But a lot of that just has to do with the space that you have to work with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
these clubs are all built on what they're,
Yeah.
the buildings are in. Liberty Elite is very clean and very well lit in the places that, in like the locker room places and all these
Yeah.
things. It feels very nice. We've seen some clubs that were really nice like that, and a few clubs that were not that nice. But Liberty Elite is a very, very nice club. And the jacuzzi, we've never seen a jacuzzi in a club before.
That's the thing is, you can kind of just go and chill in there.
I love the jacuzzi.
you
I
love
think-
the titties bouncing in the jacuzzi.
I love the jacuzzi. So it was funny as we were going around that night, because there is so much to do there. I was trying to find like my happy space.
Yeah.
The dance floor was cool, but it was very loud. The swing, we'll talk about the swing later. Total disaster.
And we took you on, because obviously at Liberty Elite, each night is very different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could go on a different night and it would be a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
I'm excited to see tonight, because we're going tonight. I'm excited to see that part.
So you were at what we call Hot Wives Club.
Yeah.
And
And it was-
you've got a hot wife, may I say. So
Oh, yeah.
You fit in. You fit into the criteria.
It's all the boxes, yeah. But the jacuzzi was perfect because it was so relaxed and chill, and you could hear each other talking. It was just phenomenal.
We do say, don't we, that it's a great social area, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's a lot of ladies dressed down on Hot Wives Club.
Yeah.
Because it's hot wives, so they go to kind of like show themselves off, and it promotes good body confidence. I think it's a very positive night, very positive party. We must try and get the hosts to come on.
I badgered
Hot
them
Wives
again
Club.
last night.
They've got to come on, Hot
Yeah.
Wives Club. And because it's a Friday, there's a lot of single guys.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get a full weekend. Obviously, you're coming to Vanilla to Vixen tonight. So on the Saturday, that is predominantly a couple's night.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very different atmosphere to a Friday where you've got a lot of single girls, you've got a lot of single guys. And I suppose people don't traditionally expect that in a swingers club.
Yeah.
And it was.
So,
it was
Mr.
good.
Snow, would you like to tell the listeners what happened in the jacuzzi last night?
She said that with
Well,
a-
she really did. She made her "I'm in trouble" face. All right, I'll confess.
the flogger is coming out.
I know. I can't decide if I'm horny or nervous. I think it's both.
That's typically where you stay.
So, one of the members of our Discord, our mutual Discord, I should say, it's not just my team,
No. He's on our Discord as well. Bless him.
asked to
What did he ask, Mr.
Mrs. Snow and Mrs. N both have gorgeous breasts.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And famous. Very well known.
Yeah.
And this gentleman is just frothing at the mouth.
Innocently enough, I'm sure.
Innocently enough, of course, just for scientific purposes.
I understand.
to understand the differences between these two women.
Circumferences.
Yeah.
And weight
And so we were
and
having
feel.
this conversation in the jacuzzi, and we decided that we should go ahead and test this out. So,
That wasn't his request, though, was it, Mr. Snow? What was his request?
well, that he wanted to try one hand.
No, what was his request?
What was his
What
request?
was it? No,
He wanted
maybe
to find out which ones were better.
Yeah, he wanted.
yeah.
No, I thought he wanted you to ask us.
Oh yeah, he did. He's very shy.
He wanted to be like some form of human
He did.
scales.
What he really wanted to do was he wanted to see. You know how the penguins, when they're on the
Where is
ice.
this going?
Trust me, it's okay. We're not gonna fuck a penguin. What they do? No, listen to me. This will make sense in a moment.
We'll save that for the next
Shut up
episode.
already. Okay, so listen. When the penguins come up with an idea and they're on the iceberg, what they do is they push a penguin off, and then they stand there at the edge and watch and see if he dies. Well, this guy did that to me
Metaphorically, of course.
because he wanted me to ask these two lovely ladies if he could do this. So,
Is that what it was?
yeah, that's what it was.
And so your thinking was, well,
You're just helping him out.
yeah.
My thinking was, I'm going to be a good penguin. So I brought it up in the hot tub, as one does. And so Mr. N and I both performed this experiment very scientifically
Yes.
with our eyes closed.
yeah.
Yes.
Could be anybody.
I forgot to close my
Apart from the
eyes.
fact there was only the four of us in
bugger.
there.
Well, right, and you knew exactly where we were sitting. But other than that, totally scientific.
Yeah,
I forgot to close my eyes as well.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I think we decided it was a tie.
I said it, and we were talking about that today.
We were, weren't we?
And it was like-
you brought it up, didn't you?
Yeah, unbelievably the same boobs. Exactly the same.
I heard a phrase that I had never heard. Mrs. N said she had boob envy.
Yeah.
Boob only, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
Well,
Yes, because as we discovered, when I lie down, mine seem to disappear under my armpits. Mrs. Snow's don't.
I don't think that's true. I think they sag quite a
No,
bit.
seriously, they don't.
Who am I to argue? So boob envy.
Yeah.
well, listen,
phrase.
any scientific study is not worth anything if there are not enough data points. So maybe we should try it again tonight.
You're a shitty penguin.
I've been called worse by better. Didn't think we were going here, did you?
You get everything on this show: science, natural world,
It's very educational on
Absolutely.
podcasts, I'll have you know.
It's very good. And this is the first cross podcast. So you will hear this on Vanilla to Vixen and you will hear it on Scheduling Sin.
Yeah.
So this is the first one that we're doing transatlantically, cross whatever.
But in person.
Yeah.
I know.
It's amazing.
Netflix, whoever else wants to buy it, just come and we'll do it all the time.
We could tour.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
We could do this
wow.
live.
Yeah.
Think about it. Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
You,
Sydney Opera
me, feeling Mr. and Miss, or Mrs. Snow and Mrs. N's boobs.
Do you think they'll let us have the Opera House for like a swinging club just for one night?
Yes. If I know them like I think I do.
Well, if Mr. N keeps adding people to the guest list, we need a bigger venue.
Oh.
The Sydney Opera House, isn't that like almost like the shape of a boob?
It kind of is. It kind of is.
Symbolic.
You could, yeah.
If he keeps adding people to the guest list, he won't survive to the
This is
opera
true.
house.
This is very, very
This is
true.
true.
This is very true.
We will give you a full roundup
Yeah.
of what happened next week. It will probably be a mosh pit, but we'll be all right.
You were so excited last night. I'm gonna keep adding them to the podcast. It's gonna be a mosh pit. It's gonna be a mosh pit.
Yeah, the Discord group has gone bananas this morning,
Yes,
saying,
yeah.
"Mr. N, are you doing a you again?" Because
Yes.
he's well known for this.
Yeah, but you never know. You see, it's very difficult to organise guest lists because you get nervous newbies and sometimes they don't show up. And so you've got to just cover yourself for the ones that don't show.
So that's like a 1-to-17 ratio, or
I see your point.
I feel like we jumped ahead a little bit though with the whole
Okay.
hot tub thing.
Take us back.
Yeah. So obviously you got your shit tour from Mr.
I need
N.
a shit tour.
It was a totally shit tour.
total shit. You said it was a shit tour. I'm a shitty tour guide.
Look, I was really excited. I'm like, look, I'm going to give you a quicker tour because I want to do everything. I want to do everything tonight. I do get a bit excited about things.
Oh dear. And obviously we introduced you to a few people and you had a few conversations and then you were like, we're going to go off and explore.
We
were like,
did.
great.
We did. You said,
And-
go explore. And I'm like, okay.
We did. We went off and got in trouble.
A little bit.
You went to the room because I was like, I was interested to see where you go straight away, first of all.
Yeah.
I thought they were going for the buffet, so I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah, we'd already eaten though.
I know.
Then.
Can you believe it? This is the first time ever I've not eaten the buffet.
I know.
You know, I was wondering about that. I saw it come out and you were nowhere to be found.
No. I was so full up.
There were plates of food just left, and I was going, whoa.
So we went to the swing.
The room with the swing.
Yeah.
Because it was, it's different and it's fun.
Well,
it's your birthday.
we've been talking about playing, whatever. Don't make it sound like it's about me. You've wanted. You are so full of shit. You love to pin stuff on me, but you have wanted to be in a swing for a long time.
Okay.
Perhaps.
I mean, we're just saying stuff now.
Yeah, okay.
And that is a hell of a swing. It's like a custom built
It is.
swing.
very
I mean, there's a
nice.
big
Yeah.
structure
It's
to
very
it, and it's
comfortable.
chains and all kinds of things. But it is a bit of an apparatus.
It's a fickle bitch.
It's a fickle bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got your advice was very helpful
The little stool.
as far as
yeah.
getting off the swing. There's no graceful way to get off of that.
It's so unsexy.
I know there's got to be a hidden camera in there that people are not watching the sex part. They're just watching people
it's just for
get in and
laughs.
get out. I 100% believe that.
And you know, it says
I watch this guy.
Quick, get the popcorn, there's another one.
So this was the first time we'd used a swing.
Yes.
And what I didn't understand about until now about a swing is that when you, as the male, you're laying in the swing, when you go to push, she moves away from you. You have to chase her around on the swing.
The target moves.
Yeah. You go to push and it just goes away from you. And it's frustrating.
You've got to get the female has to be right on the edge of the swing.
Yeah.
You've got to get right on the edge. That's the mistake.
You have to
I think.
get the right angle. Like I say, it's taken myself and Mr. N at least 3 attempts before
We had to
got
lower
right.
it. as
Yeah, the
well.
height has to be
Yeah.
correct too.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you're like Mr. Well Hung in the bar.
Well, then you
who
can stand on the other side
outside
of the room.
door, yeah.
There was an extremely well hung gentleman there last night.
He was going to poke someone's eye out. First of all, I could appreciate from a male's perspective if you had that. Why wouldn't you walk around with that?
He would need two postcodes for that cock.
It's a little unsettling.
Unsettling. Your eyes went nowhere except on that dick every time
I
you
didn't
walked
say I
by.
didn't want to look at it. I just said it was unsettling.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, Mrs. Snow and I were talking to a really lovely guy who originally came to our Vegas event.
Oh, yeah.
He's
very nice.
such a sweetheart. We absolutely adore him. And he was chatting to us. And even his face when he saw it was just a picture.
He was like, God, man, give us a chance.
Yeah, leave some for the rest of us.
Damn.
I'm not going to lie, though. If I'd do the same thing.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody would. That thing was a baby's arm.
It
It was quite impressive.
was a guy just going at the end, going, "Yeah, they're ruined."
Yeah, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah. Like, well, no, there's not. No, there's not.
There's nothing more you can say than that.
And then there was a couple of comments. There was a couple of ladies' comments going, "Well, actually, you don't want them always that big."
Yeah.
They were just trying to make the guys feel better.
This is, and say what you will, right? But my opinion on cock size.
Because you are an authority on cock size.
I have one.
He's in the know.
So my opinion on cock size is any portion of it that remains dry wasn't worth having. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I use all of mine. So I'm just saying I'm more efficient with my dick.
There's nothing wasted. There's nothing I hate waste. I absolutely hate waste. It's just, yeah. It's not satisfying, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to add to this.
So we've dealt with breast size, cock size. We've covered quite a bit on this episode.
Yeah.
But
Well, then we learned some things about a new single gal there.
Yes, we did. So, we were introduced to this lovely lady. Bless her.
Well,
it was her first
we got
time?
second.
Second time.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time at that.
We
club,
actually had
everybody.
two educational things at that too. Because first of all, we found out what a hattie was.
Oh, yes. I forgot about this.
How could you forget?
That's a good
A
question.
lot of things happened, to be
I've still
fair.
got post-shock.
She's blocking it out.
You know what it is? I'm thinking of that big cock.
Pointlessly big cock.
The pointlessly big cock.
If anybody says you never learn anything new, is lying. Because,
Forget the Urban Dictionary, that's just like amateurs.
Yeah.
You come to Vanilla to Vixen or Scheduling Sin and you will learn what real education is.
Absolutely.
So we had a couple yesterday who went, "Oh, it's so lovely at your Vanilla to Vixen parties. We really like it because it's nice and easy and there's no pressure on anyone and all this." And they'd been on Fab Swingers, which is kind of our version of SLS, I think, over here, as you've discovered. And they said, "We got this couple, we really weren't sure." They said that their kink was a hattie. Are you into hatties? Our kink is hatties. Are you into hatties? So something about that.
I just think, can you say it again?
Hatties. They actually Googled it.
Do you literally have sex with hats on? Or?
No, Mrs. N, you don't.
Okay, so is it Hatties? Hatties?
Well, yeah.
I didn't ask them how to spell it.
That's not what we're worried about here. Okay?
We weren't at the stage where I needed them to write it down.
Did you want them to draw a picture?
Not really, no, if I'm honest.
Where was I when this conversation was going on?
You were talking to the guy about the other guy with the big dick.
Oh, okay.
This came out in the jacuzzi. We had the full Hatties conversation in the jacuzzi.
That was when we had the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We weren't there at the initial conversation that Mr. N had, did we?
We're going back to what a hattie is now.
Yeah.
Okay, so a hattie
Prepare yourselves.
is literally where the woman is legs wide open.
I love the fact that you're doing hand gestures.
I know, I was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think you're safer with hand gestures than if I actually try doing this with other gestures. Where the legs are kind of like wide open in a Y and the woman's standing up like a Y shape upside down. And she literally pops herself onto the gentleman's head.
So basically you wear her like a hat.
wearing like a hat? When the couple found out what this was, because they went, "What is a hattie?" to this other couple,
yeah.
They explained it, and I think they hit the block button.
Well, and I think your question was, wouldn't that leave a snail trail?
That's that question.
I would be more concentrating on how you would breathe, or
How far down is that
There's
going?
no
There's
way.
no way. Like,
This is what I'm thinking. In my head, I was thinking, okay, so, I've given birth, and
Right.
I know it stretches, but
And it wasn't sexy.
yeah.
no, it was not.
or pleasurable.
No.
How?
First of all, you guys have massive heads.
Exactly.
First of all, you're welcome. They're better for hatties.
Where are they?
you know,
Cried out loud. You're the size queen. You're supposed to be happy about this.
but when you die, obviously, when you're giving birth, nature gives you a helping hand to,
Well,
You know,
your body knows that
to-
it's supposed to,
to-
do what it's supposed to do,
exactly.
right?
How do you get it to do that when you?
It's got to be like alcohol. It's got to be alcohol.
When you?
Right.
What?
When you are, 16, 17, you first try alcohol, no one likes it. But then it becomes an acquired taste. The more hatties have got to be the same thing. The first time you try it, you go, Jesus Christ, this is horrible.
Yeah, but I still
But why
can't
would you
get
do
my
it
head-
again?
Yeah.
I think that's the question.
I don't know.
There's social pressure to drink. There's no social pressure to give people hatties. It's not normal. No one is standing around in the alley back in the street giving hatties to each other. This isn't happening.
This is where
How does it stretch? How do you stretch it?
my argument has run out of fuel. I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
I apologise if there's any cyclists at the moment listening to this. I hope you managed to pull over safely.
And I hope you're wearing your cycle helmet.
Yeah.
Six.
I hope you're wearing your hattie.
I can't help but want to Google it. Like, I want to see.
Don't Google it. Don't do it.
Do you think it comes with instructions?
I'm not so sure.
How does it physically? I just
See,
don't
what
know.
I'm trying to figure
And
out
my
is,
brain just can't.
to your comment about how do you tell your body, what do? You just start yelling, hey, we're doing the hatties again. Get ready.
Well, I mean, like, obviously, with childbirth, there's like breathing and Lamaze and like.
Yeah.
But again, I really think there's that chemical, like, natural, instinctive thing.
I wonder
that happens.
I
when
wonder
you-
how old the hattie is, because I've never heard of this thing.
Never.
Right, listeners, if you've heard of a hattie and you
Sure.
go, oh yeah, we do hatties every weekend, just write into us. Just write into us. Let us know.
Yeah, I mean, and if you can let us,
we've been-
give us instructions
Yeah, so
on
you
how.
send us an instructional video. That would be really
We've been,
Yeah.
doing, we've been doing a sex show for over a year. We've never heard of a hattie
No.
until now.
Well,
Yes.
there you go. Exactly.
But I'm thinking, like, if we go back in time to the 1970s and you tried a hattie, would you look like one of those guards at Buckingham Palace?
You never need to buy mousse again.
You know?
You smell a little funny.
You know, like this big bush.
But you'd have that wet look all day.
This is going way too far.
Yeah.
This is.
We
I
learned all
regret
about
all of
hatties.
this.
Then as if the night couldn't get any more bizarre, we'd learnt about hatties, we'd discussed that. We met this beautiful woman at the bar at the end of the night.
Yeah. And it turns out she's an athlete.
Athlete, yeah.
She is an incredibly talented lady,
Yes.
as we found out.
She's sort of a pussy javelin thrower.
Yeah.
She came up to us. She was standing next to me at the bar, and we're all standing around the bar, and she's standing next to me, and I knew that she was new. This was her second time.
She announced herself, didn't she?
She was
did,
beautiful.
yeah.
And she was too nervous to go in the back room.
Right. But she had said that she had worked herself up all night to wear the piece of lingerie she was wearing, which was beautiful.
Yeah,
was.
she
And
looked
she looked
amazing.
amazing.
She
in
did
it.
look
stunning.
amazing.
Yeah.
She looked amazing. But so it's interesting. You have this comparison of nerves, and then she walked up to me and she says, and we had talked before, so we weren't completely strangers. But I said, hey, how you doing? How's the night going? She's going really good. I said, are you getting comfortable? She says, yeah. But I think I have some weird kinks.
That's right. I was trying to figure out, how did we actually get onto the conversation of her talent?
Oh, she started this.
For once, Mr. Snow is innocent.
Truly by accident, but I'm not one to not take the bait.
I saw her looking at your arms, Mr. Snow, and I was thinking, is she asking him to like throw a javelin?
I don't know, but wearing what she was wearing, I would have done anything. But I said, she said, I have some weird kinks, and I thought, well,
He just thinks like, oh, how cute is that?
I did not say that. No. I did not say. I might have thought it, but I was like, let's hear it, and I thought she was going to say, I like to be spanked.
Yeah.
No, that's not what she said.
Mm-mm.
She said, I can shoot a dildo across the room. I'm sorry. Come again.
And she did.
She explained that she can, with her pussy, projectile shoot a dildo.
Yeah.
When you say yeah, like I just do this all the time. That's how I put it away at night. Can you do that?
No.
Yeah, but
Well, you and I had that conversation.
I think
we
when
did.
she actually went into her technique, then it became
did.
really interesting.
Yeah, but
Yes.
the one thing is, because I think it then got onto the conversation of, well, how far?
Yeah, but,
Right.
but it was then the actual content that she could shoot out of her pussy.
Yes.
So she said that with a glass dildo,
Well, they're heavy.
That's heavy shit. Those glass
She got a
dildos.
little weight behind that.
Yeah.
That's weight. And then she said, but if I use plastic, I can really get some air.
She did say that. She said I could get some air. I was like, I looked at Mrs. Ed and I said, if I tried to shoot anything out of my pussy, I would probably shit myself. I didn't even know what that would be like.
I just kept thinking this girl's pelvic floor muscle must be incredible.
Oh, sure.
She does Kegels all day.
All day.
All day.
Yeah.
I think she could, they have the world's strongest man.
Yeah.
You could she could probably like pull one of those double-decker buses with her pussy.
Well, here's the question, right? As a
This is the question.
as a fellow male, right? A woman tells you, I can shoot a pussy or shoot a dildo like several feet.
Yeah. Does
Do
that
I
make you...
do I want to put myself in there?
Does that make you nervous?
I'm not so sure I do.
That girl's got some grip.
Well, yes,
I might never get it back.
Because not only can she do that, we also learned that she can actually write her name.
Oh yeah, she has a nickname.
Yeah. I was more concerned, so she can write her name with a pen
Yeah.
in her pussy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was Mr. Snow's question then. How did you find out you could write your name with your pussy with a pen? So you stick your pen in your pussy and write your name. And she said, oh, yeah, I found it out whilst on a Zoom call.
Hey, look, COVID hit us all differently.
COVID hit us differently, but how fucking bored in lockdown do you have to be to go, right, I'm bored with this. On the bottom half, stick the pen up your pussy and write War and Peace.
There's no better way to sign an autograph.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, then we thought, this girl could make some money on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Basically, she'll sell you, if she'll write your name.
Have you seen
Forget
Wolf of,
that. People just want the
They
pen.
just want the pen.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street where he goes, sell me this pen?
Yeah. That's it. That's all you have to do.
I bet you've never seen this bitch before.
You win the contest.
Yeah, honestly, I think all of us were slightly
In awe?
yes.
Well, it was funny because she was so shy.
She was. She actually.
I don't want to go see people fuck, but I'm going to tell you about my javelin.
That was the
Apart
thing.
from the fact that people were saying, come on, dress down, put your... And she was like, I don't want to get naked. I don't want to get naked.
Oh, no, she did say that.
And then I said, how many people were on this Zoom call when you found out you could sign your name with your pussy? And she went, oh, about 40.
40.
She
There
got a
was
lot of meeting
conflicting-
invites after that.
Yeah. There was conflicting evidence going on there, wasn't there? It's like, you're not really that shy.
No, she
Obviously
was shy.
not.
She
Yeah.
was
Well,
shy.
it is kind of an odd dynamic, right? Like, I'm very shy. I don't want to go see people have sex yet. I'm going to sit here and tell
I'm gonna tell you
perfectly
this.
like strangers.
Yeah.
Very intimate, like
If
weird
they
things.
were just watching the top half of her on the Zoom call, they'd probably just think she was a bit uncomfortable on a chair.
I mean, I didn't go into details about where she put the camera.
I think it was just the top half.
I wonder how big the pen has to be.
Oh, that's a good
Well,
question.
sometimes they have those really big Sharpies, like the really
Yeah.
big markers.
That's the one you'd want, right?
Well, I want the big, yeah, especially the big black ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But where else can you have this conversation?
Yeah, you can at a bar.
I don't think I've ever stood at a bar and had a conversation with a woman about writing her name with her pussy before.
No.
Anywhere else.
No.
This is true. I would imagine not. It wouldn't be a wise idea to use chalk. Otherwise, you'd have like a chalky pussy afterwards, and that could cause like friction burns.
Well, it'd be all over us. I mean, the guys running around with chalk all over the place. It'd be like, when you park and they come along with the chalk on your tire and they know if you've been there long enough. You come running back and Mrs. Snow looks at me and she says, I know where you've been.
This is it.
Oh, leads a whole
That's a kink.
Yeah.
That's a kink. Yeah, that's not one of mine. So
No. But, the lovely Roxy always says you need to try something at least twice before you decide if you don't like it.
I don't. Fair, but I feel like there are certain things on that list that I could safely say I'm good.
Yeah.
Not to argue with the beautiful Mrs. Roxy, but I might only try a Hattie once.
You might only try it once. I might only try it once.
If you take your Hattie kink too far, it could end up as a balaclava.
Is it really, really bad that there's part of me that's actually fascinated that I'd actually like to see somebody...
You're going to end up... I can see your Google history right now. You're going to end up
I
Googling it with
know.
Mrs. Snow, and then you go, I wish I hadn't seen that.
We're all going to be in the jacuzzi later tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah? No, nobody wants
No.
to see Hattie. Nobody wants to see Hattie.
Honestly, it's like... You think when you do this kind of podcast that nothing can surprise you.
And needless to say, the chat up line didn't work because the couple got blocked.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bit too much too soon, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
What is the right time to bring that up?
I'm not sure.
well, that was their first thing they sent on Fat.
Yeah.
Well, right. So
Our kink is into Hatties.
right. I think most kinks need to be kind of tempered a little. I mean,
Yeah.
like maybe we should have some conversations about, like
Here's
basic
what I
things
think. I think
before.
this couple is sitting around in their house with a couple of drinks and messaging people, we like Hatties. And as soon as they block them, they have a drink and said, oh, I got another one.
They're going six.
Oh, God.
my.
It gives... I'm just shocked. I'm just absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
So, with all this weirdness, I was going to say, how is, like, English clubs compared to American clubs? But I'm not sure I'm going to ask that now.
There are Hatties everywhere.
Well, I've never seen a Hattie, never got an autograph, and I've never seen anything thrown.
Yeah. So there's shit.
Yes.
Yes.
I think what I noticed, and to be fair, we've only been to a couple clubs, not a lot. A lot of them have more public play or
Yeah.
more public play areas. I feel
Yeah.
like Liberty is a little bit. There seems to be a very, very definite divide
And
between like social areas versus play
they
areas.
do their socialising first, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
the front of the club just empties and everybody goes.
And part of it, I think, is just the way it's shaped.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a U shape
Yeah.
almost. Whereas some of the clubs we've been in are just a much bigger open space.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier to not walk in and see fucking the minute you walk in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I
you
see,
can
yeah.
kind of have
Yeah.
that separation, but
Yeah, I
it's
see.
still open.
One thing I can tell you, though, that is the same, and it maybe has less to do with the club itself, but the culture over here is very much like what we're used to at home.
That's cool.
As far as
That's really cool.
it is really cool, and everybody that we've met has been just unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've gotten to meet everybody. Well, a lot of people from our Discord, our UK Discord group.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys and the folks at the club and the people that we've heard.
So much about
Roxy and Debs and all these people, and everyone has been exactly how we hoped they would be.
That's so cool.
And that's been amazing. And we've really enjoyed that culture-wise because it's very familiar to us. The swingers that we know back home are very friendly, open. They would do anything for you. And it's nice to see that translates over here too.
That's really nice.
You do know when they go back and they do their next podcast, don't go there, it's shit.
They will wear you like a hat.
You ever felt like a penguin?
Very good. I mean, none of this would have happened, would it? None of it would have happened for the podcasts.
No, it wouldn't. We've had a conversation about how do we measure success in our podcast. And we do things a little bit differently because we have kids and things, and we can't host parties and all these things in the way that you guys do.
Yeah.
Our goals are a little bit different, but we've struggled to know what is success, because you get so wrapped up in the social media side
the
of
likes
things.
and the clicks and the downloads. And
Exactly. And it's everything's about metrics and analytics.
That's so true.
And I've run into this because I do most of the technical side of our stuff.
because I'm the talent.
She's the talent.
Mrs. Snow did say you twiddled her knobs very well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
I'm telling everybody.
I'm telling everybody. Yeah, that's a good wingman right there. So I look at the numbers and the things, and I've seen it where from 1 month to the next, maybe we had fewer downloads.
Yeah.
Than we did maybe the month before. And it's hard to not let that feel like, oh, this is over. We're done. People are losing interest. Or
Mr. N's constantly, I'm just going to go and bury my head in the garden when that happens.
But you hear like serious content creators where they spend like 16, 17 hours a day.
Yeah.
Working, and they become like, it really affects their mental health.
Oh, right. So not only are we scheduling sin, we're trying to scheduling like editing and
Oh, absolutely, and all these things. And so, but again, for us, it's we've asked ourselves, so what? Whether we have 10,000 listeners or 12,000 listeners or 30,000 listeners, what difference does it make? And so we've had this conversation about how do we measure success, and we had this conversation at lunch with all the folks that we were there with. And if we zoom out, and if we step back from all the numbers and the analytics and all that stuff, if we hadn't picked up a microphone in April of 2023,
we would not be sitting here with you. We would not be having this amazing lunch with all of these people that we have conversed with and laughed with. So all of these naughty pictures that we would have sent to all these people, like it wouldn't have existed if we hadn't started this podcast.
Right. And so there's that element of it. There's all the things that if we stop and look at all that we've gotten out of this, just us, it's been huge. In terms of the communication that we've had between each other,
right?
Some of the opportunities that we've had in getting to know people, and for crying out loud, being here, and meeting all these people, and then the expansion in the Discord, the community that exists there.
Well, I would definitely agree that you and I always thought you and I had the most amazing relationship and the best communication, and I think we do. But this has kind of opened up a whole nother layer of intimacy that I didn't know even existed.
Yeah,
it has.
And it's just made our relationship that much more fun and stronger. And
yes. And actually the biggest sign of success for me is, and it happened the first time when we went to the hotel takeover, we went there and not everybody, that's not the right way of saying it. Several people came running up to us. I should say her.
Of course.
The talent.
The talent. It's tough being the
hugs
talent.
and all these things. And we listened to you. But most importantly, what they said is we pause you a lot. We listen to your episodes and we hit the pause button and we talk to each other. And something that you said at some point really helped me or whatever. And I think that's it.
It started a conversation with my person.
It's a huge compliment, isn't it? When you get a message from, a single guy or a couple that say, if it hadn't have been for you, we wouldn't be having this amazing time, or our relationship wouldn't be.
We've literally had messages say you've changed our marriage.
Yeah.
You've done this, you've done that,
and it's really humbling when you get that.
It is,
because it's easy to forget that you sit in a room. And as me and Mr. N often say, we just talk shit most of the time.
Absolutely.
But the fact that it actually affects people's lives in a positive way.
Right.
And I hope in any circumstance that it can help people that perhaps their secret gets outed or their lifestyle gets discovered. And I hope that this podcast in some way can help them.
Yeah.
And help people that aren't involved in it, help them understand why other people are in it. It's not just about sex.
No, not
at all.
And I have to be honest, I think when we started our podcast, my main thing for me was to get all the people in the vanilla life to understand the naughty hobby.
You're not
necessarily be in it.
Yeah, you're not pushing it down their throats.
No, but just to understand why the people who are in it,
would not be so scared of it or so judgmental of it.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think judgment, prejudice against anything is just fear.
Absolutely, it's not understanding it. Right? It's misunderstanding.
It's just fear, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And thank God in this day and age, people can be homosexual, they can be bisexual, they can be whatever they want to be. But if you say, I'm a swinger, you will still get shock,
right?
Yeah,
disgust. What do you want to do that for? It's disgusting, or whatever.
Why would you cheat on your spouse?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It is a massive.
You will get that in the Muggle world, as we call it, the Muggle world.
Yeah.
And it's just why when you can see the beautiful weekend that we've all shared, and we've learnt about hatties and penguins.
we talked about, speaking of Muggle world, we kind of joked about having a spirit week in our Discord.
Yeah.
So like Titty Tuesday, Thigh Thursday. And so we decided Monday was Muggle Monday, that you had to only fuck your wife.
Most boring day of the week.
Boring day of the week. So Muggle Monday.
Just kidding. I love you, baby. but how many? But seriously though, like for all the jokes, and this episode has been silly, right? But we've had. I can think of with Mr. and Mrs. Foxy, and with you guys, and with several, Debs and several other people. We've had meaningful conversations with people, and conversations with people that were not inhibited by judgment or fear or whatever. Like you can openly talk to people about life.
Absolutely.
And fear and being vulnerable.
Right.
And things that aren't normally talked about, I think, even with sometimes the closest of friends.
Well, and just last night, right? For all the naughtiness that happened last night, we all had sex in a big room. And then on the way home, you two were talking about family.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's something I don't think people understand. It's there's like sex involved, right? But it's kind of through that we have a greater connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And not all couples, that won't work for all couples.
No.
There will be couples that just want to go to the club, explore their sexual fantasies, and literally just go home.
Yeah.
And you might feel like that in the beginning, and as your journey changes, that might change, and you might just come across it and discover it like we have.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because this lifestyle and the people in this lifestyle will not judge you for it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's the massive part of it, because like we've said many a time, so many people are at so many different levels.
Right.
Where like some people literally just go for the social aspect because they feel safe and not judged and everything else. And then you've got other people that are probably right at the other end of the spectrum. Nobody cares.
Right.
Right.
The only thing they care about is that, you're having a good time.
Right.
But what is still sad to a certain degree is like you say, Mr. Snow, is that you can't be probably as out as you wish you could be.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in our experience, we've been outed or not out, but we've been discovered, and it didn't go well in some things. But fully enough, once you get past that, the shock and horror of it.
Yeah.
And I really want to share this message with every listener, both on your podcast and on ours, is that if you do get outed, trust me, the horrible bit of it doesn't last forever.
No.
Yeah.
And you actually find that if somebody gets angry or disgusted with you, they're angry and disgusted often because they don't understand, like you said.
Right.
And also as well, it's a fear, and sometimes it's jealousy that you're having more fun than them.
Yeah.
And basically, it doesn't last forever because they'll either get over it or they won't.
Yeah.
And you carry on, and then you kind of shrug your shoulders and you go, oh, okay. If that's how much I mean to that person.
Right.
Yeah.
If something that trivial
Exactly.
is going to impact a relationship, then it does make you kind of question.
Well, you said this the other day, and you said it perfectly, that element of my life that you may not like or agree with should not negate any of the other things about my life that you do
Right.
like.
I think about that in context of the work that I do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with my ability to do my job.
So
Yeah.
Not
true.
even a little bit.
Yeah.
In perhaps in the 60s, 70s, if somebody came out as homosexual, you'd have guys go, oh my God, I'm not going in the locker room with him. You'd have all the really immature jokes. And it's the same now, I think, in this day and age with swinging and non-monogamy. And it's, if you come out as a swinger, it's, oh my God, you're going to, invite me into your sex festival.
We might.
But only if you're worthy.
Only if you're hot. But we're there. We're at that stage.
Yeah.
And who knows, in 50 years' time, 40 years' time, that might change. And it might not. Who knows?
Who knows?
The ride is the best part.
Oh. But it's been an amazing journey. We're excited about going to Libs tonight.
We're gonna roll up the microphones now.
Yeah.
Get out.
We have to get our 7,000 fortune cookies. Is that
Yes.
I've decided I'm going to spend the entire night in the jacuzzi, and when you take me home, I'll be all pruny.
That's my new kink.
I'll be happy as a clam, but I'll be very pruny.
It's normally at this point on our episode, and this is your episode as well, that we say thank you very much and everything. And I just want to say, there are no words. There are no words of appreciation that I can say how much we love you guys for putting your faith into coming all this way on such a special birthday.
Even though, dinner was shit yesterday.
I wouldn't even say it was shit. It didn't exist.
You gave him a real hattie there. Mrs. Snow.
You can say it's a shit dinner if it's a shit dinner. It didn't even exist.
No, we've appreciated your hospitality and just feeling very welcomed.
Everybody's been wonderful.
Wonderful.
Bless you. It's just been amazing having you, and I think everyone's been a little bit starstruck seeing you.
Yeah.
And, it's just wonderful. I cannot wait for Vanilla to Vixen tonight. And my advice to everybody is keep following both podcasts. And keep seeing what's happening on both sides of the pond.
And we're going to do more of these.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Definitely. We've talked about this before, haven't we?
We have.
Where we're going to kind of do, if we have guests on or anything, rather than it just be like as in our own studios, interviewing and talking to victims, as I call them. We've decided what we'd like to do is do it where all four of us are talking to the same.
Yes.
Netflix, are you listening?
Yeah.
If you won't take us on, Amazon will.
Come on, Bezos.
Get your checkbook out.
No, I think we can do it. I mean, all the technology is there to do it. We've done it before.
Yeah, exactly.
We just need to do it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go now. Because I want to get dressed up.
You've got to get your little outfit on, haven't you, Mr. M?
My little Chinese outfit. It's Chinese New Year, baby. Year of the Dragon. It's going to be hot.
The pants dragon.
Pants dragon, my prudy little dragon.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. This has been amazing.
It's been awesome.
I'm still like, I can't believe they're in here with us. It's just like, oh my God.
It's so cool. We're
It
going
is.
now. We are really going
We
now.
are really going. Sorry. We are really going.
Take care, everyone. We shall see you next time, both on...
Scheduling Sid.
You don't even know where you're...
Oh, I wasn't ready for that.
know what your
I
podcast
was busy
is
thinking
called.
about being prudy. We are on Scheduling Sin with Snow MILF.
Scheduling Sim with Snow MILF, and I think we're on something called Vanilla to Vixen. I don't
Sounds
know.
right.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We want to hear from you. Email us at snowmilf@yahoo.com. That's SNOMILF@yahoo.com. You can also join us on our Discord and have some fun interactive conversations with us. The link is in the show notes. Talk to you soon.